Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first episode of the Career Pulse podcast, your vital sign for career and business from everyday go-getters like you. This first episode, we are bringing in Detroit rock star Armond Rashad of the Run This Town Detroit. Armond Rashad, which I'm going to get into when the episode actually starts, has been a very big health and wellness advocate for the city. And what we're going to get into today was a really great interview. He was our first recording, our first guest of the Career Podcast. We actually recorded this back in April of 2016, so it's been a little while. And Armond first discovered Armond roots, as far as his roots getting started with the Run This Town Detroit, he first discovered that Michigan was the fifth unhealthiest state in the country. And that's what first led him on his mission to start Run This Town Detroit. And he saw that and decided to do something about it. We touch on this episode, the power of positive thinking. His entrepreneurial beginnings, actually, he ran his own successful cell phone business and event promotions company while all still in high school. We get into a bit of his sacred morning routine and a brief walkthrough of his day. He talks about how to try not to win the battles of managing time, but focus on scheduling your priorities, which I thought was very interesting. We talk about the value of multiplying times, principles of procrastinating on purpose. A really great book by Rory Vaden. So we discuss and touch on that a bit. We touch on the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey classic. Also, how to not focus. Armand talked about how not to focus on what's latest and loudest. You know, your bills aren't going anywhere, and to take action toward your dreams and businesses regardless. He talked about some hardships he went through failing multiple businesses before RTT came to fruition, as well as some childhood struggles he had coming up. And one of the key takeaways he also mentions is be patient. Do the things today that most people won't, so you can have the life that most people wish they had. And he also talked about the need to have a following, to make sure to be omnipresent, to be out there, have raving fans and advocates who support your every move and have your back. And he also mentioned, don't wish if you could do it all over again. Respect the process, and your regrets are actually lessons. And that was a big takeaway. So once again, everybody, welcome to the first episode of the Career Pulse podcast. Now you can enjoy this first episode with the one and only Armond Rashad. Now, I have the pleasure to introduce in our first episode of the Career Professional Podcast, Armond Rashad. Armond is someone who, in essence, is really becoming the premier public figure for health and wellness in the state of Michigan and beyond. I first had the pleasure of meeting Armond when we were both students at Wayne State University, when Armond was on the school's football team. We were both involved in the Greek system, pledging to different fraternities. He was, of course, Kappa Alpha Psi. I was at Pi Kappa Alpha. And we would obviously cross paths at different functions and events, and we'd participate, participate and see each other from time to time. And I remember, Armond, when I was first exposed to RTT, I had a corporate video internship downtown. I believe it was a building off of Atwater or Franklin Street, and it's pretty much next door to the Renson. And I was on my lunch nearby, and then I just saw, a group of people just pumping it out, down on Milliken Park. And I remember you first launching RTT and seeing it on Facebook and social media, and really just seeing your drive from that, going on 4 years. And, I was trying to get down there to check it out, finally joined in summer 2013, and, it's been cranking ever since. And just being part of that, did you ever imagine seeing 80, 90, almost 300 people at RTT, going through that experience? Did you ever imagine it growing to that length?
Well, really, Hayward, that's a great question. Really, I never had the opportunity to imagine what it could be. Initially, when I started Run This Town with my co-founders, Sean Bletcher and Terrence Thompson, now Reeves is his name, Terrence Reeves is his name now, we initially just wanted to get people out active, right?
Right.
We looked at cities like Chicago, Minnesota, Minneapolis, San Francisco, Miami, places where running was a culture. And we said, hey, Detroit, we looked up the statistics, we're the fifth most unhealthy city out of all the cities in America, the most unhealthy country in all of the world. At least most unhealthy industrialized country. So we say, hey, we know that we have to do something about this. We have to at least get people out. And when we said let's get people out, that number of people, we didn't know it was going to be 300. We didn't know it would be 100. We didn't know it would be 250. You know, we didn't know how many people that was. We just need to get people out. And so to answer your question, no, I didn't envision that it would grow to this. I didn't envision that it would be a real program and a real thing like it is. So it's just the power of positive thinking.
Okay, great. And career professional audio listeners, once again, just to give you an idea just on the scope of what, how Armond got started and what he really created, just to give you an idea of just, some of his track records. Once again, he is the co-founder of Networkingout LLC, the Networking Foundation, and the co-creator of the Run This Town fitness movement. And like he was saying, he didn't know it would expand to the depths that it did. It has spread from Detroit to Chicago, Kalamazoo, and Arbor, Eastern Michigan University, as well as Washington, D.C. And once again, this program has been responsible for making Detroit and abroad, I feel like, a more healthier, active place. And he's actually recorded over 300 free fitness sessions since it started in May 2012. Most recently, Armond has also founded ArmondRashad.com, and that's a way for companies and organizations, to bring in Armond to assist the workforce in getting healthier and more active. I mean, Armond has worked with many organizations, including Quicken Loans, Western Michigan University, the Detroit Pistons organization, and Triumph Church, to name a few. He's also a recipient of the Spirit of Detroit Award from the Detroit City Council. Also, the Black Male Engagement Award from the Knight Foundation's Black Male Engagement Community. And he's also a recipient of the Community Service Award from Ford Motor Company. So really, Armond, just a lot of great accomplishments, just from working hard, staying consistent, and just, doing what you do best. So I'm just going to, if you don't mind, just going to dive in a little more deeper as far as just some origins, as far as, how you first got started. Like, I mean, tell me, what would you feel was maybe your first sort of entrepreneurial experience, maybe as a kid or a teenager? Do you remember that far back of what that?
Yeah. I mean, just about 11 years ago, I was 16 years old, and I remember that I don't know, you remember the big Nextel phones phenomenon.
Right.
Nextel phones was a thing, and the exciting thing about Nextel phone is you were able to change the chip in the phone, so you didn't have to have a AT&T or a Sprint contract, or even a T-Mobile or whatever other cell phone provider. You had the option of getting just purchasing a chip from a company called Boost Mobile. And Boost Mobile was a very cheap discount company that essentially allowed you to buy chips. You could put those chips in expensive, more expensive premium phones. It's kind of a way of purchasing a Mercedes-Benz and being able to get the shell of the Mercedes-Benz, but instead you actually purchase a Toyota engine to put inside of it. Just to kind of show the difference in maybe pricing of the two companies. But it was a cool dynamic, because what it did is it allowed kids who couldn't afford the real cell phone to have those phones and not be obligated to pay the big cost of the big cell phone provider. So when I was 16, I seen a space in the market. I said, look, if I can get my hands on more of these phones, because I was fortunate enough where I worked a job at Kroger's and I made good money every week, and I had the real deal. I had the Sprint. I had the brand new i870 is what it was. You push the button and the phone flipped open. And
those were the days.
And everybody thought it was the coolest.
Right.
And so I had a conversation with the guy at the local cell phone store, and I said, hey, how can I get some of these? And what he would do is he would sell me these phones, at a marked up price, but lower than they were sold if you had to buy them from the store. And he sold them. The biggest piece was without contract. And by him doing that, I was able to turn around and sell those phones back for $250. $300 a piece, and really learn the difference between. At the time, I didn't know the name of it, but that was really the difference between wholesale selling and retail selling. So. It was a great experience. It was like I was a wholesaler, and I got to live a nice high school career off of selling $200 and $300 phones.
Wow. And did you do that all the way up until college?
No, I actually transitioned out into event promotions.
Okay.
So I was a popular kid from doing the phones, and I dressed nice, and I was on every sporting team at the school, and I transitioned out into doing events. So I started doing high school parties. $10, $15, $20 to get in the party. But high school, what's so cool about it is that kids show up, 100, 200, 300, 400 kids at a time. And so I remember at a time I was making, over $3,000 a weekend on these parties. And I ended up buying my first car off of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I bought a CTS Cadillac, and it was good times in high school.
Okay. All right. Now let's take it back. Let's bring it back more into the present. What would you say? Like what would you say is how would a day in the life of Armond Rashad consist of? Everything from maybe your morning routine, things you're doing during the day. How do you manage your time through that, and leading all the way to calling it a day.
Okay. Well, a typical morning for me starts at about 5:15 a.m. I'm up and I go ahead and maybe grab some tea. Usually when I start that early, Starbucks is not open yet, so I grab some tea from my own kitchen. I throw in a Lululemon outfit or a Nike jumpsuit, and a pair of Nikes, a Run This Town shirt of the multiple colors, and I head out to the gym. I head out to Jab's Gym in Eastern Market, which is my business partner's gym, and I have the keys and the swipe badges and everything I need to get inside of there. And because usually at 6 a.m. I start when I meet my first client.
Mm-hmm.
Can you still hear me okay?
Yeah, yep, you're good.
Okay. So at 6 a.m. I have a client, and then at 7 I take a break for breakfast. And then I return at 8 and 9, maybe have a client at 10. And then from there I head home. And typically, to kind of take it to the night before. I'm usually getting to bed pretty late, around 2 p.m. So it's really a nap at nighttime for me. So I take that nap, and then when I come back home at 10 a.m., after breakfast, after I've met with, 1 to 5 clients or so already, by 11 o'clock when I get back home, I'm ready to take a nap. So I may come in, take a nap, sleep from about 11 to 1 o'clock. And then I'm back up and I'm ready to go. Then I'm taking meetings. I'm taking meetings all the way up until about 6. At 6, I'm starting teaching classes, cardio kickboxing classes, or other type of fitness programs that I may have been hired for. And then after that, I'm going into all the after work workout clients. So we're starting at about 7 p.m. 8, maybe going about 9:30, maybe 10 o'clock sometimes. And after I'm seeing those clients, I'm kind of heading back home, looking at some cool articles, maybe listening to a little bit of music, writing my goals down, reviewing my goals, really seeing how I did for the day when it came to clients, checking on what clients' packages are about to expire, because you always want to stay on top of that and make sure you can get them back in the door the next month. As well as I'm answering throughout the day, I'm always answering inquiries about more clients who want to do things, about partnerships that may happen. So it's a never-ending kind of cycle of setting up things for people, doing things. And it's funny because these small events, sometimes I spend probably about 2 to 3 days a month in schools, talking to kids, motivating them to be entrepreneurs, and things of that nature. And that stuff really kind of takes some time, but you won't believe it. That same stuff that takes time from you is how you can get a couple extra clients here, a couple extra clients there, how your brand grows, how someone hires you for this package, this program. So sometimes you can't really see the real value in your activity. If you keep your activity positive and keep it in the lane of what you do, there's always some return investment that you get, some ROI that you get off of those different activities. So
Yeah, very interesting. And I know a big part of being an entrepreneur is just managing your time. Because I know there's a quote out there saying, hey, if you don't respect your time, no one else will. And you can always make more money, but you can't make more time. So I really like how, when it comes to scheduling your day, I mean, you'll have a nap, 11 to 1 in the afternoon. Then you're back on and meeting clients and taking on meetings. So how important would you say it is when it comes to people considering the business route, building their brand, their business, on managing time? How important do you feel time is toward what you do?
Harry, I guess the timing for your question couldn't be any more perfect. Right now, I'm reading a book by Roy Vaden called "Procrastinate on Purpose."
Yes, yeah, I'm familiar with that. Yep.
And I thought that was a really interesting title. I actually went to Barnes and Nobles not to even pick up that book, but I seen because we all were red flag in the hashtag procrastination as something negative.
Mm-hmm.
So when I looked at this book, I said procrastinate on purpose, and it says 5 permissions to multiply your time. I said, wow, anybody who's trying to do anything significant in this lifetime, you're going to always have that struggle of only being 24 hours in a day. And what Vaden points out here is that even if you have more hours in a day, people say, I wish I had 26 hours, I wish I had 28 hours. He points out that even if you had more hours in a day, you would essentially still fill that time up with something else. To-do lists never end, no matter how much you get done. I mean, Hayward, I've had super productive days where I've gotten through, 12, 13 items on the to-do list. I mean, real items where you got to travel somewhere, we have to write something down, we have to really work and focus on what you're doing. I've gotten through that stuff and felt very productive, woke up the next morning and realized I have twice as much to do. So that is a never-ending cycle, and Vaden points that out in Procrastinate on Purpose. So when you talk about managing time, the true I guess fact of the matter is that you're never going to really win the battle of managing your time. So I don't try to, Hayward. Okay. I don't try to win the battle of managing my time. Instead, as Roy Vaden points out, instead of trying to manage your time, instead you manage your priorities. Mm-hmm. Right? And what people do, people typically they schedule their priorities, right? But instead, you need to people prioritize their schedule, and instead, though, you have to schedule your priorities. That's what you should do. Mm-hmm. And what happens when you prioritize your schedule is by prioritizing your schedule, you're looking at things that are you look at all these things and you're just trying to see what's most important in your schedule. But that's completely backwards because you already have inherently things in your schedule that are not really important. Mm-hmm. Or what Vaden points out is the significance factor. They are not really significant in the grand scheme of what's most important in your life. So what he tells you to do is to prioritize your schedule. So that means you keep first things first. So things that are most important to your life, you keep those things first. It's exactly the same reason why in my field, why I'm able to be successful, is because so many people have not prioritized their schedule or have not scheduled their priorities. Mm-hmm. And one of the priorities is they want to be healthy. They have not, year after year, some of them are 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years old, and year after year, they haven't scheduled that priority, which is fitness. Right, spending time in fitness. A lot of people have terrible relationships with their family because they haven't scheduled that priority, which is spending time with their family. Mm-hmm. Instead, they let everything. If I take some book of the 7 highly effective habits, the seven habits of highly effective people. In Stephen that book, Covey. It talks about 4 quadrants. The two quadrant being most important. That's things that are significant, are very important, but are not urgent. Because there is where you have the real bulk of what's most important. Let me tell you, until your mom or grandparents are about to pass away, they're very important, but they're not urgent, right? You can put off your parents, you can put off spending time with your family all day long. Until your degree that you're going to get is never going to wake up in the morning and knock you on the face and say, hey, wake up. That book you need to read is never going to grow legs and say, hey, you got to read me. You should read me. You need to know that business that you want to start is never going to wake up and say, hey, big guy, you need to start me. I'm a dream. You need to bring me to fruition. Mm-hmm. So most people are deterred away from that quadrant because it's not urgent. It's things that are very important, super important, life-changing things are in that quadrant. But it's not important. I mean, it's not urgent, you know? But the things that we give our time to are things that, that friend that's knocking on the door and say, hey man, I need you to come do this. Oh man, I need you to bail me out. I need you to do all these different things that are so urgent. We spend our time on because people have a big horn or they're making a lot of noise to get your attention to do these things that really, in the grand scheme of things,
whatever's latest and loudest, pretty much.
Yep, 100%. Latest and loudest. That's whatever's the L and the L, right? And what if you focusing on the latest and loudest allows you to do is become a loser. If we got another L in there, and how that allows you to become a loser is that what it essentially does is it never really allows you to accomplish anything significant. And so while we're in this realm of talking about managing your time, Hayward, it's so interesting because, people say, oh man, I want to start this business, but, I got to pay the bills, right?
Right.
I got to pay the bills.
Yep.
I heard Steve Harvey say, hey, look, Steve Harvey says, you're struggling with them damn bills anyway.
Right.
So
Either
he
way.
said that. He said, let's look at it. He said, you barely keep it up with it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So why not eliminate as much medium as possible, put them on hold, your credit already bad. So this is the best time for you to go ahead and follow your dream.
Yeah, they're not
You're
going
already in a
anywhere.
bad position.
Yep.
And him saying that really brings to light, like, that makes a lot of sense for a lot of people, As an entrepreneur who's 100% a full-time entrepreneur, and I don't work for anybody but myself, and my clients, obviously, I realized, like, man, I essentially could have almost done what I'm doing now years ago. Now, granted, it would have been more of a struggle because my influence in the space wouldn't be as aggressive as it is now. But at the same time, I could have taken the time to go ahead and jump into it and build it now because, whether you start now or start later, you got to start to be great. But you don't have to, be great to start.
Great point. Excellent point. And as far as what I wanted to move...
Sorry if I was long-winded.
No, that was fine. You hit on a lot of good key points, especially with the Rory Vaden, Procrastination on Purpose, which, I've done some studying on. I haven't read the book quite yet, but I have followed him. Oh, great. Sounds good, man.
Yeah.
Now, moving on, Armond, what would you say, a lot about being, whether an entrepreneur or a highly productive person in your career, a lot of it starts with mindset. And there could be a lot of people that may listen to this or may see you on the billboard or the website, and they have that mindset where, well, that person just got lucky, or, oh, I wish I could do that, but I don't know those people, or I don't know the right people or can do the right thing. But a lot of people don't know what type of struggles or adversity you may have been through. So why don't you share a moment with the audience? What were some initial struggles that you may have started with as early as, launching RTT or getting that partnership, or even things from just starting off in college? Like, what were some of your struggles and how did you overcome that to become an entrepreneur full time?
So Hayward, I want to kind of back it up because, I think the real struggle, by the time I was in college playing Wayne State football, I already learned some things about myself, right? By the time I was starting to run this town in Detroit, I had failed a couple businesses. I already learned some things about myself. I already been through some things at that point. I think that when you got to look at true struggle for a person, the true character that's built in a person and mental fortitude, you have to take it all the way back to birth, right? I was born I wouldn't even say, a lot of times people say a middle-class family, but they're giving themselves too much credit. I wasn't born to a middle-class family. I'll make it clear that, if you're a family that's struggling to pay bills every month, and sometimes not paying those bills, causing your lights to get cut off, causing your heat and gas to get cut off. If you're in that position, you're not a middle class family. That's not what the American middle class should look like, right? So a lot of times people say, "Oh, I grew up in a nice, middle class family." No, your family was struggling. That's not middle class. You were living below the American dream, and I have to be honest with myself. I grew up living below the American dream. Now, there's two roads I could think and I could take. I can say, hey, this is life. This is what it's about, right? Heating up my water to take showers, coming home sometimes to 50 candles in the house because our lights have been cut off. I can say that's cool, but then I can, unfortunately or fortunately, I had the opportunity to go to my friend Justin's house, right? Justin was a Caucasian friend of mine, great guy. We called ourselves brothers, right? Even though I was black, he was white. At Justin's house, he had a dad in the home. The lights were always on bright. The heat was warm, and he always had great showers. I remember he had these great shower heads. I used to love to spend the night because these shower heads were so powerful. They felt great after a nice game of football. And he had these small little luxuries as I looked at him. Now I know they're small luxuries, but he had a solid American middle class home, and that was time for me to make a decision. So Justin was living this regular life in this space. I was living a life where his house was like a vacation home for me. It was like a dream home for me. And we're talking about maybe a 3-bedroom, maybe a 1,500 square foot house. But I mean, you can kind of show you where my living arrangements were. And I had a choice to say, look, what do I have to do to live like that? So most kids can just enjoy that time, right? And say, oh, I love Just House, it's a great time. But I wanted that all my life. I wanted that I wanted that, right? So I grew up already realizing that, hey, whatever it is my mom is doing, right? I don't know my dad, have never met him. Whatever it is my mom is doing is obviously wrong. And that's a fundamental problem right there, Hayward, because most people don't want to say that their parents did something wrong.
Right.
Most people don't want to say that they're and I'm not saying my mom was a failure. Never was saying my mom was a failure. But I just knew that in some certain areas, maybe financial literacy, maybe education, I understood that she lacked. I understood that she lacked some things. And I know she lacked some things because how we lived. Right?
Right.
And it's okay to say that. Because what I'm saying is not only am I just saying that in a way of saying, oh man, she lacks some things, and that's, tough shitty. I'm saying that she lacks some things, and I need to find out how I can give those things to her. So I initially knew that what my mom was doing was wrong. When I looked at what my mom was doing, she was working a job. When I looked at why we didn't have enough money, because her job did not give her enough money. When I looked at people who had enough money, I looked at they didn't have jobs. You see where I'm going with this, Hayward?
Right. I see where you're going, man. You're hitting all the points.
They didn't have somebody to say, oh, $9 an hour, price tag on your head. They didn't have somebody say, oh, $24,000 a year is what you're making. The people who I see doing well had their own thing. Those things were companies. They made their own decisions. They woke up and they kind of roamed about Earth looking for opportunity, doing what they wanted to do. Right?
Right.
They took opportunities on as they see it fit. And I said, those people is who I need to be. Like, those people, whatever I need to do, whatever I need to take, and we're always in a constant, a constant chase to be that super entrepreneur. But what I realized is that Dan Gilbert, lives up the street here, right in Detroit. Dan Gilbert, was in this exact same position I'm in at one point, right? Every entrepreneur juggernaut was in this position that we're in right now, Hayward. Okay. They were saying, hey, look, I'm making some money, no matter what stage you're at.
Yeah, that feels better. That feels good to know. I mean, to know that you're not alone, like, hey, what am I doing wrong? Or, yeah, that's a good point.
And here's the thing, Hayward. Yeah. If you are alone, who gives a shit if you are alone? Right? Because I know that if I have to be alone to give my mom a better life, maybe a life in a house like Justin's house, back when I was 7, 8 years old, if I have to be alone for that, isn't it worth being alone for? Isn't your mom and your parents worth being alone?
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah.
Aren't they worth being scared for?
Yep.
So it's like, to kind of, I don't want to be, get too far off pace, suffer a little ADHD. But,
it's all good, man. A lot of us do. I mean,
yeah,
it's normal.
Take me back to the original question there, so I can make sure.
It was just about, once again, those struggles you those struggles as an entrepreneur? Like I know you mentioned there were a couple of businesses that you tried to do before RTT that failed, and just to kind of know that other people that might be out there listening who are trying to get to that next level, just to kind of hear maybe some successes, some failures. It kind of makes people know, okay, I'm not, this is on the right path. Like what were maybe some of the businesses you had before that didn't quite go how you planned, and how did you bounce back from that?
Well, here's the thing. Here's the fundamental thing, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the funny thing. My business that I'm in now, that I currently support myself off of, theoretically, is failing. That's profound. Let me tell you why, right?
Okay.
My business that I'm currently in right now, that I have my loft off of, that I bought my truck with, that gives me the time and freedom to sleep in, that gives me the time and freedom to travel. My business that's getting by my lifestyle is theoretically failing. And if you look at the definition of failing, I don't know what it says exactly, but I'm pretty sure it says something like, the shortfall of meeting the goal. Mm-hmm. I'm guessing that failing somewhere along those lines. Okay. A shortfall or a shortcoming of meeting the goal. And so my goal is to, do $78,000 to $95,000 a month. I'm sorry, 78. My next goal is $78,000 to $9,500 a month just on this business alone.
Okay.
Right? Currently, I'm not doing that. Like, granted, I am doing enough to travel when I want. Mm-hmm. Right? I am doing enough to, fill my tank up, to have a fly loft, you know what I mean?
Right.
And nice stuff in it, flat screens, stuff that guys like, and big speakers, and nice shoes, and nice clothes. And I'm able to put some investments away. Mm-hmm. But that business, essentially, if you look at the definition of failing, falling short of a goal, I'm currently, month after month, falling short. I'm month after month failing, right? Mm-hmm. I'm failing every month. Every month I look at the numbers. Damn, I'm still not there. Damn, I'm still not there. So I'm month after month failing on my goal. Now, here's the thing is people look at failure as something that's bad, right? But what all failure simply is another chance to get it right. Mm-hmm. It's another opportunity. You know what I mean? When you shoot a jump shot, if you fail, that means you missed that jump shot, right? Mm-hmm. But you failed, but you get the chance to shoot it again. Mm-hmm. It's an amazing thing. So when you look at, I think a lot of times people talk about business ventures, they talk about that one business that worked, but I think they don't really put. I think sometimes entrepreneurs, when you talk about success, they don't really put. Sometimes I listen to a lot of different podcasts, a lot of different things, Hayward.
Okay, yeah. What are some of the podcasts? You don't mind me asking? We might listen to a couple of the same.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't listen to necessarily podcasts. I listen to more so speeches of motivational speeches from entrepreneurs. And I like these snippet. I don't necessarily like when it's like set up to be an interview. Mm-hmm. I like sometimes when I like to see what the entrepreneurs are not saying. Right. Okay. I listen to think or what they're saying when no one knows the camera's rolling.
Yeah. Name some people. Name some speeches or some of your favorites.
So most recently, I guess you got to start with the juggernauts. Mm-hmm. You got to start with Les Brown.
Okay, yeah, of course. Mm-hmm.
Right, you got to start with Les Brown, just by with all due respect. Just recently, I listened to something with Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey said he had this speech called Jump, right? He says, look, you heard me mention it earlier. He says, look, he's like, if you don't jump, right? Because everyone wants the security, right? Because jobs have given us so much security that we feel like, man, I got to make sure this is intact. This, I got to make sure all this stuff is intact. This, that is this. And really, that is a gateway drug to being mediocre. Mm.
Wow,
because business is taking a chance. Mm-hmm. Business is saying, I don't want to be comfortable. Don't just feed me. Don't just feed me to shut me up. Mm-hmm. Business is saying, look, I'm stepping out and I'm going to be the leader of this thing. Business is saying, I have a better way to do this. Here, come follow me. And whenever you're doing all those things I just said, whenever you're doing those things, you're stepping out on faith. You're stepping out and you're doing something unconventional. And so security is not necessarily in that. Mm-hmm. Now, the security, what you can have security in is that, hey, if you keep beating on that door, one day it's got to open. Mm-hmm. I take it to the great book, the best-selling book of all times, the Holy Bible. It says that knock and it should be open, ask and it should be given. Now, granted, there's some stipulations in that, but let me tell you, that's enough for me to have a great deal of faith that if I keep knocking on this door and I really dig into my craft, I really focus on it, I'm really relentless about it, I know that I can give myself a better life than someone's able to pay me. Or not only able, let me say willing to pay me, because a lot of people are able to pay you a lot of money. Your company right now that you're working for right now, whoever's listening, their company is able to pay them what they want to be paid. They just don't feel like they're worth it to pay you that.
They're paid what they think they're worth, what they're willing to tolerate, not what they potentially can do.
Yeah, 100%. Now, granted, you can build a great life off of that, right? But I think I want to spend my time living.
You're not just paying bills.
Not just paying bills and working the rest of that. I don't want to wake up on a Saturday to pay all my bills to get ready to go back to work 2 days later, because at the end of the day I may end up in that predicament anyway, so why not try to go ahead and shoot for the stars while we're at it.
Great point. Now, Armond,
I think that
keep going. Sorry about that.
Let me give something that's logistical in this whole thing, because people always give we give these roundabout examples, but we don't give really tangible action items. I'm gonna give you a tangible action item that I realize as a person who because I wish I had me to listen to. That's somebody who's a millionaire already, but that's someone who's like stuck somewhere working, someone who's in the middle, someone who's grinding, living a silent life, but looking for more. That's what I want to hear about.
Yep.
We always hear about the guys who've already made millions. And they can talk about it a lot. They have a lot of different passion for it than someone who's in the grind right now. I want to hear from somebody who could be going broke in the next 3 months, or from somebody who could be making $500,000 a month in the next 3 months. That's the guy I want to listen to. I want to listen to that passion. So here's the tangible item. The tangible item is that in America, naturally, when I went, I just recently furnished this. I think 2014, I furnished my condo, and I got a big red leather couch in here with an ottoman and decorations. I got big speakers on the wall, a flat screen TV that swivels with my office table, and then I went and got a new MacBook laptop, and then I got some. I got the bed with the leather platform, real sweet, bachelor pad type bed with the covers and the linens and all this different stuff I bought. Right, I'm trying to take you down this path.
Right.
And when I went to buy those things, they said, "Hey, look, you don't have to pay for this today." They said you could take 12 months, and your interest will be zero. Asterisk, of course, asterisk by it.
Right.
If you go down to the bottom of the page and read the asterisk, it says that if you are late on a payment, you get charged with like 36% interest. Right. It turns out I think my couch I bought was like $17.99. Right. It's like $1,800 the couch I bought. Right. If I would have failed to make that payment, it would have went to $26.99.
Wow.
So I'm paying almost like $1,000 more for a missed payment or taking a little bit longer to pay it.
Yeah, that you don't have to.
But you don't have to. So this is the American thing. So we have patience. I remember I said, look, I want a lot of stuff, but I bought my couch and I didn't have anything else in here. The next week I bought a TV. And I said, I'm just going to wait. I'll wait a little bit. Mind you, when I did this, I was still working a job, 2014, right? Still working 9 to 5. And I waited. I slept on my couch for a week or two. And I said, look, let me do the day what most people won't. Because most people go to a furniture spot in one day. For me waiting 2 weeks to buy everything, I probably saved myself, about $3,500.
And a lot of heartache down the road.
Yeah, a lot of heartache, a lot of interest payments. I saved myself that $3,500. That could be the opportunity cost of $3,500 could be used to be doing something else, making me money versus losing me money. Right. And most people won't do that. So this tangible action item that I have for people is that, hey, look, if you're looking for being an entrepreneur, eliminate the unnecessary pressure, control the controllables. And that unnecessary pressure is bills, right? Don't go out and get that new car. Buy what you buy cash. Don't use that credit on frivolous things. because it's something that it's a distraction, and it's something that you're worried about building your business, but instead you got to worry about paying this dumb bill that you created.
Yep.
And that's the quickest way to slavery. Is one of the ways of enslaving somebody is make them indebted to you.
Yep. Essentially, modern day slavery. You slave to your payments.
100%. You're slave to pay. You're working just to pay. Working just to pay. Now, granted, I may slide back into corporate America, for a particular reason for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But you got to do it knowing why you're doing it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. You know the light at the end of the tunnel. You know where you're going. You're not just fat, dumb, and happy waking up. Well, at least I have a job. You can even be like, because I'm even kind of going through this a bit, feeling like, hey, I do have to, slide into, working with another company. I know I'm an entrepreneur undercover. I know where I'm at is not where I'm going to be. I'm doing what I have to do with a mission to, eventually launch back into my business, so yeah, just hearing that, you make a lot of good valid points. Now, what are some things, Armond? What do you do daily? What do you do like on a daily basis to grow as an entrepreneur? Whether it's maybe fitness, reading, what are some things you do to grow on a daily basis?
I'm consistently reading, right? I'm looking at other trainers and fitness gym owners. I'm looking at gym models and looking at people in my industry who have done things cool and who have done things that worked. Taking things from those things and growing it and adding to my mental Rolodex of things that I want to use and things that I will use and new workouts and new innovations and new ways to. Believe it or not, I went to a church service the other day, and the prophet that was there, he had a monthly subscription service, and I realized that he had a system where he was essentially, I think at this point you pay him to come too, but before he would come for free, and he would come for free just for the purpose of doing the heavy lifting himself, which the heavy lifting would be subscribing or getting your following to like him.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And the subscription base, I think it was like $41 a month. But you got to think about it. He's probably in a month's time, he could be in probably 13 to 14 cities, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's consistently every month. And he's been out here for about 5 or 6 or 7 years or so. And when you look at that, $41. Let's say from each place you go, you get 30 subscribers, you get 40 subscribers. You're getting a lot of people paying you $41.
Mm-hmm.
100 people, paying you $41 is $4,100, right?
Yeah.
And, let's say you get 100 people per city. I'm just thinking about just the power of numbers. With subscription base, I realize subscription base is the way, is because subscription base gives you a database to consistently always have income and cash flow.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did is, I remember a while back, I switched my company to completely subscription based, where people a lot of times have to come in and don't want to commit. They want to come in and they want to say, hey, I'll pay X amount to come to you. And that essentially is not the best route, because next month they may not come back.
Right, it's a one-time transaction, maybe one and done.
Yep. One and done. Mm-hmm. And one and done is, unless your one and done is like, unless your per unit is $5,000, like your orthodontist, and all you need is one and done, because you're getting $5,000 from one person in the family. That family has 3 kids. You're getting $15,000 off of 3 kids in one family.
Mm-hmm.
You got bigger units here, but a place like Fitness Train, I need you to be a member with me for months and months to come. And if you look at a place like Planet Fitness pays all of their bills, and their business model is designed to pay all their bills with their annual monthly fee. So the annual fee that you pay when you sign up pays all of their bills. That little $10 a month you pay, that $20 a month you pay, is all profit.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing business model. So it's like this: hey, look, as long as you sign up, it's all we care about. We don't care if you come back or not. We don't care if you use the gym or not.
Yeah, just get that monthly subscription and auto renew, then we're happy.
Yeah. We're happy, Matter of fact, they're happy when you sign up, because you already paid, $39, and they need a certain amount of people to pay the $39, and they're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
The $10 extra per month is just extra cream in a shareholder's pocket. So,
Yeah, great. That really was a good segue to my next question. I mean, like you mentioned with taking your RTT business from one-time transaction to subscription based only, and that's a big part of accumulating residual and accumulating eventual wealth. And I think a lot of times we don't talk enough about in the African American community a sense of legacy and instilling wealth on down. A lot of times it's just, hey, everyone worked to get a good stable job, and then the next generation starts at zero. So as far as looking long term with the RTT brand, 5-10 years out, what do you feel are some things, along with subscriptions, what are some systems you want to set up in your business to eventually perhaps scale it, or make it grow beyond you to where you can essentially have an automated business running for you? What are some things you're looking long term, toward that route? If you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, well, essentially one of those things is, of course, I think the Renaissance model is a good gateway drug, right? Mm-hmm. So I look at people who you need a following, right? Mm-hmm. Anybody who's going to make substantial change in following. Mm-hmm. You need a group of people who are at your command. Mm-hmm. Right?
Raving fans, advocates. Yeah.
Advocates, right? Mm-hmm. I think in the Outliers they call it connectors. Or they call it connectors. Anyway, you need a group of people who are on your team, on your side. And so, Renaissance is a great model for that, because it's a lot of people who every day I get to showcase, every week I get to showcase my talent to a large group of people, which keeps me in the news. And when I say in the news, I mean the more important news than the actual news when you're in people's mouths. Mm-hmm. People say, you're looking for somebody in fitness? Oh, this guy's got to go to. And once you continue to set that tone and set that brand for year after year, you just build yourself up as the industry leader in that area. Hmm. And so Runner's Town is good for that. Sometimes with our businesses, Hayward, I think sometimes we look for what's going to be the thing that makes us money. Mm-hmm. But in our business, sometimes the thing that doesn't make you money brings you the most money. Hmm. And I heard from a great entrepreneur that, look, a lot of people, everything's an exchange, consideration, something for something, right?
Right.
So if you want to make more money in an area, add more value. Mm-hmm. A lot of people want to make money, but they bring no value. So when you think about that, people who say, "Oh, we want $15 an hour minimum wage," well, my solution to that would be to bring more value. What value do you bring?
Exactly. That's a great quote, because that was even, I believe, from Gandhi. He said, don't be a person of success, be a person of value. And a lot of times, a lot of people just get caught up in what's the quickest way to make a quick buck, and how can I take. And there's another great book called Give and Take by Adam Grant. And a lot of times most people may be takers, or they're not a giver, as in what can I do to give value first, which is, the pathway to success, of influence is value. And I think a lot of times we're not taught barely any of those values, but it's a really great point. 100%. Really great point.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah. If you look at the if you look at the most successful people, and look at Steve Jobs. As I'm pretty sure you're talking about a Mac product. No.
Armond, you're breaking up a little bit. Hello?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Okay. And let me know if I cut out at all.
Yeah, you cut out a little bit, but you're good now.
Okay. Excuse me. So, if you look at the people who have added the most value to our lives, they essentially are, they essentially do very well financially because they deserve to. they add the most value.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it's like one of those things. Like, hey, you know, if you want to do well, you know, financially in America, add value to someone, right? I spend the majority of my time adding value to others' lives. And the value I add is that by, you know, working out with me on a consistent basis, you know, the assumption is and the hope is and the natural progressive thing is that you live a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
You live a little bit healthier. You know, so I'm adding real value to those lives, and people will pay money for that value.
Great point. Great point. All right, I just have a couple questions left. You know, I don't want to take up too long, but as we begin to wrap up, looking back, what was Armond? You say what was one thing you wish you understood about entrepreneurship before you ever got started?
Good question. One thing I wish I understood before I ever got started. The question's phrased pretty cool.
Yeah, just what do you feel is something you wish? Hey, if I knew what I knew now, I would have had it so well, you know, starting out. You know, maybe it could be maybe one piece, one quote of wisdom. It could be, hey, several A, B, and C things, you know, tangible
I just
steps.
I think, well, you know, why I have a tough problem with those type of questions is because people always say if I can start over, right?
Right.
If I can start over, I would do this. If I can, but it's kind of like if you started over, right? Or if you do something that you didn't know, it kind of defeats the purpose of the journey.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it's like if I do something that I knew now, then it would, you know, I would know it. But knowing something or someone telling you something, sometimes not the best teacher because it's hard to take heed that a stove is hot if you never touched it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's huge. I think you should really hear me there, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to. The reason why kids don't touch stoves, with most kids, is not because someone told them it was hot. It's because they touched it themselves, and they learned a lesson when they touched it. So if you start knowing stuff that you didn't know then, I just have such problems with those questions because I really respect the process.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the process has done so much for me, much more for me than anything else ever could. The process has really, you know, made me everything I am and everything I'm growing to be.
No regrets, essentially.
Yeah. So you know, I mean, I have some regrets, but those regrets are lessons, though.
Yep.
Without those lessons, I would still be making the same mistakes. So, you know, it's a fundamentally tough question to answer, just from the standpoint of, you know, just a tough question to answer, just from the standpoint of, you know, like everything that I know is from great lessons, and I appreciate those lessons. You know?
Good stuff. Good stuff. All right. Well, as we wrap up, Armond, once again, thank you for coming aboard. You're the very first guest of the Career Professional Pulse, and looking forward to once again when we get this online and do a little write up as the blog. I'm really looking forward to it. Now, what's the best way the audience out there can get a hold of you? Give us your website, any events coming up, or things we should know about from RTT.
Oh, yeah. Well, my website is ArmondRashad.com. You can find me on social media at Armond Rashad, ArmondRashad. And if you just search Armond Rashad or Armond Harris, Rashad's my middle name. For marketability purpose, I use Rashad. If you search Armond Harris, you can always kind of see what's going on with me online and elsewhere. And I just encourage you to come and interact with me in a space of fitness. And I'd love to chat some things up with you and just kind of grow together. So, let me know that you heard this podcast. And, I'm looking forward to just doing great things continually.
Awesome. And once again, Run This Town Detroit. That's starting back every Saturday and Tuesday, correct? As well.
No, it's gonna be Saturdays only. My schedule has gotten pretty aggressive.
That's a good problem to have, brother.
Yeah, my schedule's got to get pretty aggressive. So.
Yep, and I am a RTT member as well. So once again, Armond has a lot going on, but we'll definitely make sure to have that information, posted on the blog post. And now, Armond, what are a few little parting words? I don't want to make this too broad, but whether it's someone who's in their 9 to 5 right now and they're really not sure about taking the next big step, or maybe they're in a 9 to 5 and they're kicking themselves because things come up, adversity comes up. Maybe they have to work at their job another 6 months to a year. What are some things from either side perspective that you can give? What's some parting advice you can give to someone who wants to eventually or will take that next step?
Well, I would ask them, what is essentially keeping them at their job. I think it's important, right? So I ask them, what's keeping you at your job? And then once you find that thing that's keeping you at your job, eliminate that problem. So some people say, well, I need the benefits for my family. I need the benefits to have a kid, Okay, well, here, Obamacare is great. And he has essentially allowed us to go to the marketplace and go ahead and buy our health insurance. So go there and search and see what they have to offer. I mean, I pay my insurance out of pocket. Look at people say, "Oh, well, I have a great investment plan." Well, you can set up that great investment plan. You can set up the investment plan the same way. You can set up the investment plan. The same way yourself. So it's like you know what I mean.
Right. I mean, there's more than one way to. There's not just one correct way to do it. I mean, it's all about tweaking, course correcting, and taking what your specific situation is, and I guess examining all the options instead of just saying, "Well, clear cut, this is the way it is. I just need these benefits." But what you're essentially saying is just look at the different options, and don't sell yourself short.
100%.
Yeah, but awesome, Armond. Thank you. I didn't want to keep you too much longer, but thank you for coming aboard the Career Professional Pulse, and for having you on today. Really appreciate it, brother.
Thanks a lot. Hayward, thanks for having me.
Wow, that was a great interview. Once again, Armond Rashad of Run This Town Detroit, a very good friend of mine, and doing some really good things around the city. And I once again wanted to touch on very interesting where you just talked about the need to have a following, have raving fans that got your back no matter what, being patient, doing the things today that most people won't do. And I also like how he was really kind of not really for the, don't wish if I could do it all over again, respect the process. Your regrets are actually lessons. So I think I really took a lot of great gems away. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Once again, our first episode of the Career Pulse podcast with Armond Rashad. Once again, you can look him up on at armondrashad.com. And guys, make sure you stay tuned. We have a lot more episodes coming up. They're going to be dropping twice a month at the Career Pulse podcast, and the website will be coming soon. Social media, that sort of thing is going to be coming soon. Just feel free to follow me at Hayward Crawford in the meantime. And we're just looking forward to the official continuing of the Career Pulse podcast. All right, check you guys next week. Bye.